Hello everyone, as usual, welcome back. I'm breaking the veil of reality here by showing a little bit more of development. I've normally been keeping this very under wraps, but we'll show a little bit of it today just to go over things for the sake of it. I'm just posting this up now. Let's see. Almost done here, just posting. There we go, the amount of places I end up posting here is crazy. But yeah, hello everyone, welcome back. So let's actually get on with stuff. I hope the audio's not too loud. I'm just gonna check. Swoop says, hi Moody, so from what I've seen in Dork's Discord, you're modeling the ruins. Yes, I'm redoing the ruins. I think I remember mentioning it before, but I'm trying to play this full playlist here. There we go. So you can see a little bit of this today. I'm gonna try and get as much done as possible while also not like breaking too many of my own rules, like showing off stuff that I don't want to be shown off yet, apart from like small bits here and there. What I'm doing here is trying to get the ruins looking a little bit nicer here. Let's just bring that down a little bit. But yeah, I'll be going over stuff as usual, and we'll see how this goes and what everybody likes. My whole thing to do with the ruins at the moment is I want something that looks kind of warm and not like every other version of the ruins. Like, I absolutely love the fact that all the other versions of the ruins that have been done look nice and pristine and everything. And look very sort of detailed, full of brick and everything. The one on Bricadia I absolutely love. But what I'm trying to do is do it a little bit closer to Catacombs. I took that, what Toriel said, to heart. So, yeah, basically, I'm trying to make mine more closer to Catacombs than the other ones. Just quickly pulling up all the Discords here. There we go. Make it how you want it to look. It's your project. Indeed. Indeed. Hey, Classic. I'm just worried about my art channel. No, it's fine, Classic. I don't mind you posting stuff like that. You have every right to be worried with YouTube being all crazy at the moment. You know. So, how's it going? I'm going good. I want to like get back into more content creation as much as possible now, if I can. Because I've just been hermit moding for ages. You know, like I was saying, the other day, if anyone was around, I mentioned that I just go full hermit mode, where essentially I just work and don't really do anything else. And that's bad for the channel. So it's a case of trying to get out of that habit and trying to provide people with content that they can enjoy while also, you know, getting stuff done at the same time. You never go full hermit mode. It just it never ends up well if you're trying to run a channel. Basically, I ended up hyper focusing. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, with this version of the ruins, I'm trying to make each room a little bit different, even though they have some copied and pasted elements to them. I'm just trying to make each one of them a little bit more unique, because that way there's always something... Oh crap, I just realised I was putting textures on there. Didn't mean to show that, but at least it didn't show off anything too crazy. The idea is that if I'm going to do work here, at least, like, avoiding showing textures will be great. You can just do this. The idea here is I can pick how much everything is destroyed. So I really want to not go too crazy with it. My rule for this has been make it look worn down, but not to the point where they wouldn't be able to be used anymore. The idea being the ruins are chipped away by time rather than anything else. And time can be pretty nasty to things. So it's like there are chunks taken out of the stone, but not like massive amount of chunks. It's kind of a reasonable amount. So the stone is still standing. It just doesn't look absolutely pristine perfect. Like, we're focused on this room here at the moment. This one is the first spike trap room. You can see I've kind of blocked it in here. The idea is that all of these blocks on the roof here are supports, and the roof above that is literally just dirt. It's kind of like if you were building, say, like, rooms really lazily in Minecraft. The idea is that, like, the monsters have slowly built this place up by just tunneling straight through to, say, Snowden. And all that they've done is mainly support bits of the roof and the walls. You know, that's the way I look at it for this part of the ruins, at least. Especially because they're described as catacombs. So I've been using actual real catacombs as reference. So yeah. Let's see. Hey, Lucy! Just here to vibe. Currently working on a cosplay. I'm making the Roaring Knight. Oh, interesting. Do not talk about Chapter 3 and 4, though, please. I've not played them yet, still. I don't want to ruin anybody else's fun. Like, I can't wait to talk about Deltarune when I get round to it. Again, it's just my problem because of me hermit moding so much. I've not been able to get round to it, so I've been skillfully... It's okay, Lucy. You don't need to apologize. I've just been incredibly skillful in avoiding spoilers at the moment, so it's like, oh boy, need to make sure I stay on top of that, you know. Swoop says, I'm a little confused at the moment, but this is slightly weird to ask. Is the ruins the only place you want to remodel, or are there other things? So, the ruins are getting remodeled up until the end of them where you go into Snowden. The reason why is they looked really, really flat. If you've seen all my images, or if you look at this, you'll be able to tell I'm putting a lot more effort into making things pop, like brickwork and other things. The reason why is that with the new version of Blender, the lighting looks a lot better. So when I'm doing stuff and making it look more 3D like this, it just pops more, the light catches the details, it looks great. And I wanted to do that compared to the older version that now looks really flat. And after I do this, the only other area that I'm going to remodel, or rather, I'm not going to remodel it as such, but more apply the same elements here. So I'll be taking, like, the bricks and applying them. It's mainly going to be the bricks, but I'm going to be applying them to New Home as well. I like New Home's layout. It doesn't need to be changed. The scale doesn't need to be changed. But to give that little bit more detail, I want to add bricks to certain parts of, like, the walls and other things, just to make it stand out that little bit more. Apart from that, once that's done, everything is upgraded as far as I'm concerned, because Snowden's upgrade, which was done and was in the last update with the core, I'm happy with that. The core, I'm happy with. And Hotland I'm obviously happy with. I'm not redoing Hotland again. This all stemmed from mainly the core, I would say, and its update that came with Snowden, because not so much Snowden's update, but looking at the core when I did the original version of it, before I put out the update, it was really flat. Like, all the textures on the walls were flat, and I was like, how do I make this pop? There's got to be some other way. I ended up adding a ton of pipes all over the place. You can only just see them in the footage because the core is naturally dark. I'm thinking of slowly making everything slightly brighter, just tweaking it, because I've done that with the ruins here. They're still actually pretty dark, but I've tweaked the background values enough that you can see everything on screen while it's still dark as well, so you're not missing out on any details, which is like a skill in itself, more or less. So I'll be doing that as I go on anyway. But yeah, with all the pipes in the core, that made the core stand out and look really good anyway. So I was like, I'll just apply that to the ruins when I saw how flat the ruins looked. And now the ruins look fantastic. You know, the ruins look so much better and have so much character to them. But of course, there are reused assets here and there. Like, for instance, these arches here that don't really have anything behind them. I was like, should I put anything behind them? And then I was like, I'm not so sure what I could put behind them, like extra rooms maybe. And then it's like, well, what would I do there? And why would you have that when the spike trap is deliberately set that you'll only go this way to progress? So it was like, in some areas, it works to add extra little bits of detail and rooms off to the side. In this one, I wasn't so sure, so instead these are like supporting arches with just like brickwork behind them, and they're going to have like the vegetation coming off them. These decorative sort of areas, they're going to have lights in them instead of the torches that I put on the walls here. Because those torches, I don't want them to be overdone, and I don't want them to cost too much in terms of like frame rate. So I'm kind of like trying to find a good sort of way of cheating all of this and making it run pretty smoothly. I think that should be all of the detailing there. All I need to do now is just decimate this stuff. Let's just put a decimate on everything. So what decimate does, for those who don't know, is it allows you to lower the polygon count of everything. Oh, there's one I didn't make damage to. See, this is what happens when you make damage to something but you add too much. It looks disgusting. It looks just like a piece of Play-Doh. So instead it's like, I'll just tone it down here to like say 18 or 16. And then this is what it would look like if we saw it from here. So we go and change the design up a bit to whichever one we like the look of. Again, I didn't want to do it too much, so maybe 14 here. The idea being it's slowly chipped away. That one looks nice, because it's got like a little bit on the edges here and there. So we'll just convert that to mesh and we'll put a decimate on that. The idea for decimate is that I bring the polygon count down as much as possible, and then I work everything, because then we get a nice mix of everything running at nice frame rates and still looking great. Let's see. Classic says, I've been using the newer version. It made my heroes sharper, a more open world for me, so it's good. Blender, like Blender 4.5, the one that I'm using now, is fantastic. I'm getting so much more detail in scenes that it's made me really happy. Like, I couldn't be happier right now. These details across the top, I'm going to fill those in once I get the brickwork done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure decimate is on everything here that I want, apart from these going across. And then we'll go ahead and lower the polys to within like a couple of hundred instead of being 1,000. An interesting thing here, because I've done that with a lot of things, but I've kept the whole thing that I've been doing throughout, which is changing the height levels by adding stairs in. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. Remember the fan art? Yes. Are there other people that have made fan art? Yes. I might dedicate a video to it completely. Because there's been a lot of like fan art, memes. I absolutely love that kind of stuff because mainly I didn't expect it. You know, like I did not expect the project to get this much support when I first started it, and it always leaves me in awe of everybody. You know, and it again, I'm really thankful to everyone that is supporting and is excited for it. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna probably, when I get the chance or when I stop going full hermit, is to cover that stuff so that everybody can have their stuff actually seen and be visible to the public. You know, because I think that's fair. It's for everybody else to have as much enjoyment as I do out of this. You know, the 1.4 shouldn't be too bad. Every time I use Decimate, I'm just trying to go roughly about 300 polys, maybe. Because it still keeps all the detail, it just lowers it just a tiny bit. Because of the amount of tries. Also, an interesting one that I'm thinking of doing. This is just, I'm throwing it out there in a video for the sake of it, because I might end up doing an announcement within like the next, I don't know, maybe a couple of days or something. I'm just winging it at this point. But what I want to do, or one of my ideas is, everybody keeps on asking me, you know, like, what's going on with the assets and stuff. And I keep saying, you know, like, I'd love to get them into VR chat. I'm thinking of potentially doing the first part of that. And by that, what I mean is, like, this project has been a group collaboration for quite a while now, where I've been doing, like, the animation and the modeling for the environments on my own. That was what I wanted to do at the beginning anyway. But obviously, as you've heard, I've got people in left, right, and center doing various different things for free. Or in some cases, I've had to pay them because of me just wanting more characters and everything. What I was thinking of was literally like going out on a limb and just like asking a bunch of creators that I know, just like, would we be able to work together and get all these characters in VR chat for a laugh, so that people can work around, or, you know, walk around in VR as more characters, because there's only so many that have been ported into VR. I figured it would be fun as a collaborative thing, especially because I mentioned it to somebody before who does avatars. I was like, it'd be cool if, whenever I drop one of the parts of the movie, say like, for instance, the ruins, you also, at the same time, after that video has gone live, can immediately go into VR chat and expect all those avatars to be live and be selectable from like the Undernet hub or whatever. I think that'd be pretty cool, you know, because then that would have more content for everybody to consume, and I think it would be fun, because then it would be interactable, and then I can start potentially looking into, in future, getting these areas even more low poly, and try and see whether we can get them into VR chat or not, because people have been asking for that for ages, and obviously I don't have the time to do that right now, so it's like, I need help! I mean, this is such a cool project, of course people will give you a hand when this happens, and not necessarily, like, I've talked with it through with a few people who have said, like, yeah, it's kind of rare, you know. Hello! Hello to anyone that's watching. I don't know whether anyone's new, so please, if you're new, point it out in chat, like, if you're new to the channel, so I can tell you exactly what's going on and what to expect. This is a joke, please don't take it seriously or something. What year would you want to do the full movie? Oh, before I'm an old man, you know. I was once on stream, that's fine. I'm good. Just working on stuff again. I know a lot of people have probably been like, dude, where are you? You know, where are the updates? What's going on? Again, I've just been full hermit. like all the time full hermit mode, so that's why I've not been around in a while. Plus, I've wanted to keep these updates kind of a secret, mainly because it's been nice, relaxing, and getting this done at a steady pace, while also listening to copyrighted music. You know, that's one of the main things I've been complaining about, is the fact that when I stream, I have to listen to certain music, and it's like, before I was doing streams with just Undertale music, and then I'm coming back in now, and I'm doing like stuff offline with just any old music, and it's great. Plus, I don't get distracted when I don't do streaming. Of course, I get distracted really easily when I'm doing streaming. But I suppose I'll give you a little bit of a look at this in grayscale so you get an idea of this. Don't pressure yourself. Yeah, I like feeling comfy when I do stuff and when I do streams. And part of the reason for keeping this update under wraps for so long, or keeping it, you know, behind closed doors, was one, I wanted to be comfortable with the quality level, and two, I wanted to make sure that I was doing it how I wanted to do it, you know, so I would like it. Because if I put out something and I was rushing it on stream just to be like, oh guys, check this out, is this cool, whatever, I don't think it would look as good. I just realized I'm doing this in another window because I'm trying to keep everything for the textures secret. Just let me move the other window over a sec. You won't be able to see this, but then I can do like this fly through thing for you so you can see like the extra details that have been added. Sure enough, I'm not going to show you with textures on, that's going to make all the difference, but you will get a bit more of a detailed shot than before, you know, like in any of the screenshots that I've put out. Damn, there we go. My viewport was getting in the way there, so I couldn't see chat. So this is where I'm going to fake the end of the area, because I'm not going to model the area where you fall down into the floor and then have to go around again. I will be modeling one of the areas after it, but what we're going to do is we're going to have it so it goes to the end of the hall here and then stops. So I need to make sure I've modeled this wall and lit it correctly and everything, so it looks like it continues on when it doesn't. I'm going to do that for a couple of areas, but this is like the first area that it's definitely going to happen. And I've had to cut this up into chunks as well, just because of how detailed it is and some of the shaders that I use. So this isn't obviously all of the ruins, but it's a large chunk of it in one go that is just past the spike room. You can tell I've chunked it up into pieces as well, because over here is all the assets that I normally begin with for like stuff. Like there's a pillar for the outdoor section of Fallen Down. There's I think some extra textures for one of the other objects. There's Frisk. And then there's some candles here that I used for a different geometry node setup. And then there's some little like rock things here. But all of this over here was literally the beginning of the ruins, and then we'd come through, and then we'd get to about here. So yeah, all of that area that we just flew through real quick, that's where the previous sections were, and I've got them saved off in other files, so I don't lose them. But, here we go. So, as you can see, compared to the older version, if you end up going back and looking at that at this point, compared to the older version, this has way more detail. There's a lot more definition in the floor. The idea is that where the floor is raised is where dirt has kind of accumulated on the ground. So we've got like dirt in the corners mainly, and it's built up along the floor just a little bit. We got some rocks that are kind of camouflaged in there. Again, the area is not meant to look completely like it's breaking under its own weight, but it's meant to look a little bit more realistic. And then we've got a bunch of these candles just out. The idea with the candles is that each one of them is supposed to kind of represent a monster that has fallen down before during the war. I figured that was a nice little way of kind of tying that in with Toriel, remembering them. So those are just there in kind of these areas, especially because in normal catacombs, these would be used for bodies anyway. So it's like, okay, we'll go with that. These cards that are here, the 2D planes, those are all for the foliage, which is placed more or less the same areas in-game. So we got foliage coming off walls and everything there. That looks pretty cool. Then we've got the bricks that are done in such a way that they stick out and look a little bit 3D, and I've moved them, rotated them, so they all don't look completely flat. Like, looking at this wall here, you can kind of see what I'm doing in terms of trying to make everything look a little bit more detailed while blending in with the texture, which you'll see in the final version. And then we've got extra supports for like the roof and stuff, just to give it a bit more detail. Again, we've got areas like that where the bricks have been bent apart a little bit. Then we got another area. There we go through here. This one's a cool one because I wanted more archways in. We put them in. And then down here we have mushrooms. If you remember rightly, the original version of the ruins that I did, I put in a load of mushrooms to explain the lighting. But since I wanted some other stuff to make it look a little bit more like a normal catacombs that you would see in real life, I looked a lot at like the Paris catacombs and some under Rome and places like that, and I was like, yeah, I can still have mushrooms in here, but most of that is going to be like torches and candles. So I thought, well, I'll still have the mushrooms, just not as many of them. So the mushrooms are really more like a subtle bit of lighting here and there that are only found near either water or vegetation, like they would be in real life. Again, more brickwork that's just randomly placed in strategic locations and bent out of shape in some areas to make it look good. This area here, I'll mention it in a moment after I check chat, because it's really cool. I'm actually impressed when I see you work in Blender. I have almost zero experience. See, the thing is, I didn't have any experience in Blender until like a couple of years ago, and I've kind of slowly worked up with it a little bit. I still obviously need to mess around with some of the other tools, but I really like Blender. It's so good as a free tool, you know. And then you can just buy extra add-ons if you want for it to make it a little bit easier. It looks great. Thank you very much. So, what we've got here is more support beams and struts that help the roof stay up. Obviously, we've got the columns as well, but the struts just help a little bit more. I didn't want to leave out the columns, but I didn't want to populate the area with too many of them, which is why we have these like little alcoves with the struts in, or the support beams. An interesting thing as well is when I started doing that, I found that I didn't need to do certain techniques for modeling to continue the loops around here. So you'll see the loops go up to like the strut, and then they don't continue on because I don't need to. That's an interesting modeling thing, but I'll show you what I mean later on when we get through this. This detail here, this monster soul that's on like a almost like a stand or a plinth, that is actually it's a detail that I was planning to do for New Home's castle originally, and then I ended up using it on the Judgment Hall at the front that you see when you leave the Judgment Hall through the area after you've met Sans. The whole point was it was meant to be part of the rampart decoration that you would see on the top of New Home's castle, but when I did it, I thought, nah, it's a bit overkill, so instead I reused it here as kind of like a little shrine, and you can see as part of the shrine I've put candles around it. This area in particular looks really nice on its own when it's got like full lighting and textures on. It's really neat as kind of a little sort of memorial to monsters again. And then when we go through here, again, we've got more of these areas where I've put candles in, where I've extruded into the wall and made it look as though, again, these are in a traditional human sense would be for like buried bodies or like where bodies would be stacked up. So I've just tried to again continue that with candles here, representing monsters and giving the candles an interesting area to be in. I ended up making this destroyed pillar on my own because I had the pillar variant, so I just ended up like breaking it down and making that myself to make it look a little bit more interesting in this area. That's pretty cool. We just don't have the other one there. Maybe I should put that in. But then after this, we got the save room. Let's see. Swoop says, the one time I tried to use Blender, I ended up making a flower, and it ended up crooked. And bear in mind, I used a tutorial. It depends on the tutorial. Some tutorials can be really bad, even though they look good. I know that from experience. More thinking about it, I think great is an understatement. You've yet to see the proper thing with video, like with lighting and everything else. And I just realized there's an error there that I can get rid of. Is that from that room? Yes, I think it is. Okay. So anyway, the save room. The save room in particular was something that I ended up getting help with from Bricadia. Bricadia being a program that's like Lego in Unreal Engine 5 that you can use to build things, and somebody had built a fantastic version of the ruins. I actually have it as a stream recently, so if you look in like the past week or two, you'll see it's in there. It's fantastic. But the reason why I mentioned Bricadia is because I more or less based this asset off of one in Bricadia. It's a like a water fountain that you can't tell here without textures, but it looks really cool. I was like, I'll throw that in. So there's leaves in here, because there are leaves in this section that you rummage through with the save point. Save point's here. So I've got leaves everywhere, and then I decided to put some on the side of that. And for those with a keen eye, because I'm going to point it out now, but I'm going to point it out in the update as well, there's actually a Vegetoid head there that's going to be spewing out water. So that's cool. That's in stone because it was meant to be like a gargoyle in real life. I was like, yeah, what can I do? And obviously, because I have most of the monsters now in 3D, I was like, I'll just do Vegetoid. I'll put Vegetoid as like a gargoyle head there, and that'll be fun. So that's a stone Vegetoid head there. I love little details like that. All of these walls might look a little bit too 3D, but trust me, they're not. They're a lot less detailed than what the alternative would have been to detail them. And then this is the first area that I started doing these arches in as well. So that was pretty cool to do. Again, all the terrain is kind of up and down. You can see there's variation on the floor, so that it actually looks a lot better. Down here, this is where I went interesting. I was like, okay, we've got the candy room, but what can I do to make that interesting? So it's like, okay, start off. We go down some stairs instead of just making it flat. So we go down some stairs into the candy room. All the stairs pretty much are detailed in a similar way. So we've got wear and tear on them, and then we've got the floor being raised a little bit and uneven. But a cool thing that I did here was, apart from like making it more or less like a little shrine area, some of the cool things that I did was I made it like a water runoff, because in the spike room, I had it so that there was some water coming in the background and you couldn't quite see where it goes. This kind of implies that it flows from there through here and keeps going towards the tutorials. And then we've got like these areas that you would normally see in game. We see them come and go, and I made it look almost like sewers a little bit. But the idea is these runoffs keep going and go through the ruins entirely, so they look pretty cool. I just want to walk around it in VR, says Classic. Zoom says, I hate it when I can't think of anything to talk about during live streams. It's fine, it's fine. But a few of the cool details here is, with these 2D planes, I've kept the leaves on there. They're just not as focused as they are in game. They're just scattered around. But we got the first instance of the Delta rune that's damaged or slightly worn away in the project, because the other ones look pristine and everything. This one I've deliberately done in 3D, and I had to remodel it in slightly low poly, but I've damaged it to make it look like it's more worn out and everything. That looks pretty cool. But one of the things that I thought was interesting was a little bit of environmental storytelling, because I was like, well, I can make these giant archways here and have candles in them, but then I was like, well, how does Toriel get across to them? And what I've been doing in, like, the other rooms, especially, like, the first room that you walk through with Toriel, you see these wooden bridges that you walk across to get to each new area with Toriel. And I was like, how about I just put some of them in to explain that Toriel walks across them to light these candles? Instead of just, like, throwing fireballs at them from, like, range, which she could do. I was like, just having them there would be nice environmental storytelling and detail, because it wouldn't look as boring. And then for this side, I was like, you know what, let's just have it so that that walkway isn't in use at the moment, or maybe something's happened and they've decided to just, like, lie the wooden walkway there. So it's not symmetrical, but trust me when I say, when you see it with lighting and textures, it looks way more interesting and impressive. So then we've got all the roof as usual. And then coming through here, this is the one that I did recently with the fallen floor, where it was like, okay, I have to do the walls, I'll do them with bricks, I'll make the windows, and then we can jump down. This is really inspired from Bricadia, where we what happens is, normally in gameplay, you go across here, and then you fall down into this area with the leaves, and then you have to go up the other side. So now we've got this area with 2 torches in either side, and we can go up and down the stairs. We can at least see this in the background. This has the alcoves again with the candles in, and the reason for that is just it's nice detailing. So I made that slightly smaller, but that's cool. And then when we go up there, you can see out. So we've got enough lighting to see all the details in there, and as the characters walk past. The bricks again are randomized and placed in certain locations to make it look more detailed. The floor's really good, it's actually blended in. It doesn't look too crazy there, but the reason for all the detail in this one section with the floor is just to camouflage all the textures. I've even had a laugh and did a little bit more narrative storytelling by leaving more leaves here from the other room to make it look as though they kind of stop there, and then obviously there's some in the basement area where they fall down, so it implies there's something there. You can't quite see it though. And then yeah, we come into this area, and I'm now going to work on that and get the textures sorted, which I'll do now, but you won't be able to see it. I'm doing it in like another window. Excuse me. But yeah, that's this section of the ruins at the moment, and so happy with it. I gotta say, your style of the ruins turned it from a basic tutorial area into a literal temple ruins. It's one of the things that I've been meaning to do when I was looking at it compared to everybody else's. I was like, I do like everybody else's versions. The problem is, like, for me at least, with everybody else's versions, while I absolutely love them, my brain was just so hyper-focused on Toriel's bit where she says, oh, we'll have to walk through the catacombs, and then every bit of the ruins looks like the catacombs under everything else. So my idea for the ruins is, like, this all takes place kind of like the catacombs under France, and then the idea is that the city that you see on that balcony at the very end, that's actually above all of this, which is why you don't see the majority of it. And then for the end, with that, with Toriel, what I'm considering doing is changing that section slightly, so that instead of her walking out of a balcony area, she walks out from, say, like, a tower, and the idea is that the tower has stairs that constantly climb upwards, and the idea being that it's just going to be a cut, like a jump cut, so we see Frisk going up them just to see what's there, and then, like, later on they come out onto a balcony that shows the city, but it's going to be facing a different direction, so it makes more sense rather than looking directly next to tutorials. And the reason for that is because the way that I've done tutorials is Toriel's basement sits right next to a giant ice wall, which obviously separates the ruins from Snowdin. And I was like, if I put the ruins, like the entirety of the city, next to that ice wall, it's going to look stupid. I'm going to have to try and explain it. It'll require more modeling and stuff. And I'm like, I don't really need to do that. All I need to do is rotate things a little bit, like Hotland, just to make more sense of it, which is good compared to, obviously, having to redo a large section of the project all over again. Yeah. Because that's one thing I don't want to do, is like go doing large sections of the project over and over and over again. It's just the ones that really need a little bit more love and attention due to them looking inconsistent. You know, that being New Home in the Ruins, because they were the first update I think I put out after I said, like, I was working on Hotland. They were the first update that I put out saying, like, look, they're done and everything. So they're the oldest areas. And then when I redid Fallen Down, which is the beginning of the ruins with Flowey, because that looked bad, I was like, now that I've redone the ruins, the problem is that the redone ruins start doesn't match the rest of the ruins. So then it was like, problem. So, yeah, it's one thing after another. Trying to do this in secret is hard. I may have to, for a moment at least, just do that so I can see the textures, and then we can try and line this up. Yeah, I guess this is like a little preview of me actually trying to make this match up, because if it doesn't match up, it's going to be bad later on. And of course, some of the textures aren't actually done yet, so, or rather unwrapped yet, so it looks a little bit worse than it should. Let's put that there. That needs to be... Oop. The whole point of this stream was literally to try and get this area done anyway, so this isn't too bad. Now I just need to figure out where that is. Oop. If I can get everything lined up properly, I'd be really happy. Can I just... This is what I had to do for like every other wall in the ruins, and this is for that trick that I was on about to work. Can I just... Like, the walls by far now take the longest time, and it's just because of trying to do little tricks like this that make everything that much more cooler and detailed, but god damn is it annoying. There we go, that works. Let's see. Let's chit chat. Have you seen any fan-made Deltarune characters? Want me to name a few examples? Ooh, please, please, because I don't think I have seen any fan-made Deltarune characters. see. Oh, that reminds me because ah, there we go. That's already correct. Because the way that this works, where is it? I'll show you how I've done everything here because it's pretty cheeky of me. So the way that the modeling for this works is obviously I've got like the high detailed arch there, but I don't need that many wires or loops coming off it for the actual 3D model. So instead I've got this plane on it that has just about the right amount that I need for like all of the areas to mess around with it. So I just keep copying and pasting that for each room's entrance if it looks like this, and then adjusting everything accordingly. But also like areas, like say for instance this, you can see these lines don't match up like you would expect them to if you were just modeling from one cube. The reason why is I split everything with those details. So like you can see the wall is completely split there, and I'm not actually using the like some of the other bits there. That's literally just because it's like it saves polygons if I just split it behind that detail, and then like with that one we can just boom, you can see there's nothing behind it. It's a really nice cheat. I like doing that. It's so simple. Petley Pete and VB or Sockswold. I think I've heard of Sockswold. Didn't they have a fan game? Have fun. I need to go, but I'll join for a bit later if possible. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I swear Sockswold had a fan game, if it's the one that I'm thinking of. That's Cube Project here, and then I've got a... Oh wait, it's the other one that I need to edit. Actually, I can edit all of them if I do this. You can also see the floor here. So with the floor, you won't be able to see the full scale of things. But what I've been doing, I'm just gonna make sure that this is... Let's turn down here a little bit. Hang on. I hope the audio balance is good there. We okay? Let's take this. Right, and then I'll just... Because all these are the same assets, so... Let me describe them. Petley is a representation of Flowey as a cowboy movie star. Pete is basically friend inside me. Sockswold is basically Sans Sock as a doctor. Yeah, I was gonna say, I swear I've seen that one. Interesting. It's the Cube Project here. Like the floor and everything, you can see where I've tried to blend the materials together to make it look a little bit more detailed. Again, where the texture work also works into each other here, so like where the edges are, that's where the most dirt and sort of like grime is accumulated. So we've got this like pebbled, rocked dirt texture, and then in between that we've got another layer of dirt and rock that looks like a trail underneath it that gives the impression of this kind of like floor that's covered in dirt and looks a little bit more natural. And then because of the other room being kind of like stone from the ruins as well, instead of like some interpretations where there's just like either different rocks or different stone, you know, to give different color and show the paths through the ruins like in the game. Instead, I've just literally made it so our paths are like the dirt slowly been worn away through characters walking over it or whatever. So you can see like here the dirt is more worn away, or rather brushed away there to reveal the brickwork underneath. And then I've done the same over the other side here near the steps. So that's pretty cool. The fandom is weird at the same time, but creative. I like the creativity. You know, I totally embrace it. It's just sometimes it can be a bit weird. You know. It's unique in its own way, and I think that's one of the reasons for enjoying it. Also, I don't know if anybody filled out the memories website before it went off. I'm hoping people did, because it's been nice reading the memories from there, especially on like Twitter, where everybody's been archiving their own ones. I go to about there roughly, and then it's about there, right? Ah. Now, by doing that, all of those pillars should be the same size. Should be. Now, I just need to move this brick around. It's going to be fun, actually, getting all of these bricks in place, possibly tonight. Depending on how I do this. Like, for instance, the roof is lazy as hell. Like, with the roof, because nobody's going to be really seeing too much of it, we just cube project it, and then just upscale the texture just a little bit so it's not pixelated as much. There we go. Just go. Ooh. It was funny because I had a comment from somebody. It wasn't a particularly mean comment. It was somebody being like, "Dude, because I just remembered from the UndertaleAU playthrough. It's like that moment where I feel pain from how long it took you to do the puzzle. I think it's the fire room puzzle in yellow. And I responded back today, and I was like, not as much painful as I feel embarrassment for spending like half the video trying to figure it out. It was so funny. Classic says, the pillar, when you moved it, made a crazy idea. It'd be cool if have the bricks line move in an animation like you did. Would be cool. Oh, animate the moving. The funny thing is, with textures like that, you can easily like animate stuff moving in the material. Like the material can just constantly stay on tick. For when you've pressed the button to animate everything, so it can be ticking around in the background and doing its own thing while you're busy doing other stuff with animation. So cool. With this, again, this is all the same. Here, it's not going to get messed around with too much. I wonder whether I can actually copy my my unwrap here, because this file of the archway here is exactly the same as the one over the other side. So if I just go copy UVs and then go to this one, just go UVs, paste UVs. Oh, okay, that just saved me some time. I've used that before, but I don't know why, for some strange reason I didn't expect it to work. And it matches pretty much alongside there. I just need to move it a tiny bit. It's not too bad. But now I know that works. I'm not too skilled at animating. I'm getting better as I do more practice. The whole point for the project, despite, you know, me doing it, was basically to get me better at animating. So, yeah, while it sounds crazy, it's like, wait a minute, he's doing a huge animation project and he says he's not good at animating? It's like, yeah, well, that does sound absolutely crazy. I have been slowly getting better, and I'm enjoying the process of it as well. You can see throughout each update, I keep getting better and improving. So it's going to be fun as we get this update done, because the idea is I do this update, I get it out, and once it's out, then I'm going to leave New Home alone until I actually need to do it. I'm going to focus on getting the ruins animated and out in a decent manner as quickly as possible. But importantly, with the ruins update is going to be the player update as well, and the underground section with all the monsters. So that's going to be fun, actually, like trying to show off more stuff to do with like the player, the underground, how the monsters interact with each other, you know, how they interact with the world, because I want to detail that so much more, you know. Hey Sky, how you doing? Let's see if I can get this right here. I don't know, I keep on pressing like the wrong buttons here for this. Is that the end? Is that the last track? Or are we... Oh no, it's Gift. Oh, I love Gift. So good. Yeah, it's funny to think about it, especially the way that I talk, that when I started doing this version of the ruins, the new version, I was like, yeah, I'll do all this stuff tech-wise. It'll be really cool. And then my confidence just fell off after that third or fourth video. Confidence completely went, mainly because I'm sat there like, no, I know I can do this. And it's like, I didn't want to rush myself or whatever. And then it's like, okay, I'll slowly get my confidence back by just working on it in private. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm a little bit more confident. I can do streams again now. It's just funny. I'm doing good, Sky. I'm doing good. Our latest tournament started for Lionel. The first person I got matched with is a friend I pulled into the game. Nice. Who happens to be really good at the game. Oh no. Did you win, or should I not ask that? Oh, this is interesting. How do I... Right, now that should be applied to everything equally there. If I actually edit this there, that might be interesting, because then I can put those details across there. I just need to... One, I need to get the arches re-UV'd there. And I need to get that done, so if I... This shouldn't take too much, though, based off how it is. Yeah, it's so close. In fact, it's practically there already. I just need to make sure that the top is okay, because of how that looks. Because the idea is to put these bricks up here like this to fill in a little bit of detail. If I take these lines and just bring them up a tiny bit. Will that work? Yes, it will. Okay, there we go. This is all going fantastic so far. Didn't go against him yet. He'll be home later tonight. It's basically one round per day. Ooh, interesting. Hope you do well. Undertale Yellow's pacifist ending of songs are genuinely sad, especially the one with the playtester credits are shown. This one, is, I think, where Clover gives up the soul, based off the fact that it's called Gift. Because it's been a while since I played Yellow. But then after Gift, it's Undertale Yellow. This one. I want to play Yellow again now. God, I've been saying that for ages. Maybe I should do that for like a break thing at some point. Like go back and play Yellow and actually try and not suck at it. We know each other's decks, this guy. He's going in with a deck that has a really annoying gimmick to it, but it's just so happens that the deck I've been working on for a few weeks now happens to counter it to make it a fair fight on both ends. Nice. What's stopping you? Probably the project. It's mainly the project, yeah. Like, the thing is, I try and, I know it's a joke, but I'm still gonna answer it anyway. I prioritize the project a lot, so, like, doing anything, like, trying to do anything, the project always comes first, really, just so I can get tons of progress on it. Because, like, the more progress I have, the less I need to do in the long run. Which is why I obviously did, like, so much effort went into Hotland and Waterfall to get them cranked out fast. Because those areas specifically are a lot harder to, you know, do. Because of how big they are. So it's like, yeah, I'll just get them done. And then I don't have to worry too much about the rest of the underground. And I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I stuck to my guns and got that done, because now I'm not like panicking and going, oh god, you know, I don't have enough time to do Hotland. Instead it's like, oh, it's just the ruins, oh, it's just New Home. You know, if I had to do like Hotland or Waterfall again, I would probably cry and just be like, well, this is gonna take another few years, you know, because I don't want it to take much longer. I want to be able to like just turn around and be like, okay, all of this is done. All the planning is done, because I have to show that off in another video and see what people think about the planning. Go over some ideas and things. You know. And then once all of that's sorted, I just want to be able to go with it. You know. This should be easy though if I just copy the UVs. The only thing I should have problems with, if any, in future, is literally just like visual effects and stuff. That's kind of how I'm playing it. Let's see. You have a fair point. But seriously, feel free to play Yellow. I enjoyed Yellow so much. Swoop says, I've talked for quite a bit, but now the moon rises where I'm at. Good night. Thank you very much, Swoop. Nice to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. I just think Bowser's Castle Mario Kart all the way. It looks so good. It's classic. Oh, that'd be so fun. That'd be so cool. Undertale Kart instead of Mario Kart. I need to do VR of that. See, the thing is, I want to do that. There's a VR world that has like Mario Kart style setup, and it plays really well. If we could literally get that that world's setup, I would be more than happy to like turn around and like, okay, here's some of the assets and everything that I've got. Let's do this. Let's make custom tracks and stuff. There's so much I could do with all this content. It's unbelievable. I just need help. I just need help getting it all together. You know, and in a way that that it can be used by other people. I'm just pasting UVs here. Dude, that saved me so much time. Okay, so that's most of that the same scale now. So now I just need to do these other bits. But yeah, the one in particular that I saw, it wasn't Mario Kart exactly. It was I'm trying to remember. It's like Surumi Kart or something. It's really fun. It's like if you want to play VR kart racing, it's fantastic. Trying to mess around with these details here, because once this room's set up, it's all good. That one's better. Convert to mesh. The same with the other one. Can we do like 16, 17 maybe? Ah, that one's not too bad. No two of these will be the same as well, so that's going to be cool. Be sick, would have to get a lot of help, so much coding. Well, that's the thing, like, the actual kart racing thing itself, I think they've given out, like, free code for it, you know, so you don't have to do too much coding. It's just, like, asset replacement, from what I understand. I could be wrong about that, so, like, if it's just asset replacement, like, provided somebody has all the assets, it just takes time to design tracks and then get everything sorted. Oh. Oh, let's see about that one. Change pattern. Yeah, there we go, that one. It's looking not too bad. Yeah, no two of these support looking things here are going to be the same. It's going to be nice to look at them for extra detail on the walls. Here we go. And then for this here, I think this is all one. Yeah, it is. Let's do a through on this and do like 16 or even 14. I want to try and get one, because it's completely randomized, this pattern. I want to try and get one that like affects both ends kind of decently. Oh, like that. Let's try 16. No, too much maybe? 12? I'm not too sure now. That one doesn't seem too bad. And then we'll do 12 for that one. That one's not too bad, but it's only in the center. Although so's that one, but I'll take it. Those don't look too bad. So we got 16, 14. Okay, right, so the last little bit I need to do really is place bricks, and then do lighting and stuff, so that's not too bad. So I'm quite a bit done, just for the sake of it, because I'm still streaming, so we can just, because I'm almost done with this. I still don't know about the next room in particular, but I've got to kind of bring it out a little bit, so we'll grab Toriel here, because now I can basically, because Toriel's used for reference everywhere, I can bring her forward into this next area. Hey, memes. And then we're good. Not again. I mean, I can turn it off if you want. I can just stop. I don't mind. I've been going for like an hour. Like, seriously, if you want me to stop, I will just stop. I can do something else. It's no problem for me. Here we go again. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just see about the size of this, and then I'll just call it. Let's just do... You do you. Oh, okay then. Right then, I'll call it there, and I shall see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Until then, bye!